Everyone knows Thoma at this point, right? We first meet him as we enter Inazuma for the first time. A friendly face in a strange new world. He's fun, he's charming, and he helps us out a lot in the story. So I thought it would be fun to explore this well-liked character and go over some interesting facts. Since he's not a playable character yet, we don't know everything about him, but there's still a ton of cool things to discover. We're going to have some spoilers here for the Inazuma Archon quests, and some story quests, so if you're okay with that, let's get into it. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you enjoy Tevat's facts and wisdom. Also be sure to join our community Discord, where we discuss Genshin's mystery and lore with all kinds of other people. You can catch me on Twitch too, where I stream Genshin. Links to these will be below. Alright, with that said, let's open the Tevat and dive right into this. Thoma is originally from Mondstadt. This was only revealed to us with his recent announcement as a playable character, which I'm sure we all knew was coming, but nonetheless. We don't know the details yet about how he came to Inazuma, but being a Mondstadter makes a lot of sense for his personality. He has a laid-back sense of humor, even in the face of dark times, but he takes his work very seriously. When it comes to his work, he has a silver tongue, knowing the right thing to say to the right people to get what he wants. In this way, he kind of reminds me of Lisa, because she has a playful sense of humor, but beware when she gets serious. And she knew exactly what to say during her quest when we needed to get back her library books. Thoma also loves sharing food and drinks with other people, and looks forward to having a meal with us again. That's something that seems like it could come from either his Mondstadt upbringing or Inazuma culture. I think he'd get along well with cheerful Amber, laid-back Kaya, and workaholic Jean over at the Knights of Favonius, as well as the playful but serious Venti. Ayaka sees him like a brother. Because of his role in the Kamisato household, Ayaka and Thoma spend a great deal of time together. He's supposed to look after her, and he conducts a lot of business on her behalf, such as gaining the traveler's trust and fetching them to the Kamisato estate. Of course, Ayaka already has an older brother, Ayato, but since he's the current leader of the Kamisato clan, it makes sense that they don't get to spend as much time together. So, Thoma fills that role somewhat as a companion and friend as well as an employee. Ayaka's voice line about Thoma says that she does think of him like another brother, and a full member of the household. Other people admire his skills as a housekeeper and the work he does for the Kamisato clan. It's mentioned a couple times in the game that he is good at his housekeeping duties, including cooking. Kujo Sara states that if Thoma ever got tired of working for the Kamisato clan, she'd like him to come and work at the Tenryou Commission's estate to keep the household affairs in order. From her, this sounds like very high praise. And in his protector from afar introduction, Goro and Tarumaru state that he's very good at taking care of people. Overall, we get the impression that those who know him are very impressed with his work and his care towards others. He wants to learn ninjutsu from Sayu. This comes from the sleepy ninja's voice line about him that, despite having a vision, he pesters her for ninjutsu training whenever he sees her. Being around Ayaka so much, we can assume that he has a good deal of combat knowledge already in order to protect her, but also because she's a strong sword fighter herself. By him bothering Sayu to learn ninjutsu, we can see that he might take a strong interest in the traditional arts of Inazuma, or that he enjoys learning new ways to fight. It also shows his playful nature, and that the two of them have a very friendly relationship. I can imagine him saying it as a joke every time they meet just to annoy Sayu, who says that ultimately she doesn't have time to teach him due to needing so much sleep. He's a very skilled speaker. Thoma is one of those people who just knows, by experience or instinct, the right thing to say to get what he wants. He's been able to build up relationships with many people on Rito over a relatively short amount of time, to such a degree that he understands the inner workings of the various organizations on the island. And he's able to get us an enormous discount on an extortionate fee with his charm alone. Yoimiya's voice line about him says that she asks him for help when she needs to because of how purposefully he speaks, as sometimes there seems to be no connection between the threads of conversations with him, but he chooses his words carefully and it becomes clear what he's getting at after a moment. He even admits himself, "I have a slight knack for schmoozery." He has a goofy sense of humor. As soon as we had that scene where he pretended to be Tarumaru, many players fell in love with Thoma's sense of humor and lighthearted personality. It contrasts his very serious role in the story and provides some comic relief, making us like him even more than just someone providing exposition at the start of the new chapter. We get to spend that heartwarming scene with him and Ayaka playing a hot pot game, which is so endearing for both of them, and he even makes us like Ayaka more through the humor and dynamic they have together. So when it looks like he's going to be the victim of the Raiden Shogun, we panic for him, and want to protect him the way he protects others. He's very knowledgeable about Inazuma. It seems like he's been here working with the Kamisato family for a long time. He knows so much about the inner workings of the tri-commissions, as well as many local cultural complexities that we wouldn't be able to deal with as outsiders. Even in Raiden Shogun's story quest, he mentions not having seen the Shogun's will falter before, positioning himself with the local native Inazuma people as opposed to being an outlander himself. We wouldn't be able to get through the story without his vast knowledge of the local culture and politics for sure. He likes hot springs. Mentioned during the proof of guilt part of the second half of Inazuma's Archon quest, after being holed up in the Komori tea house for a long time, he says how much he wants to go and visit a hot spring. So we can assume that's something he enjoys doing during his daily life. Of course, Japan is famous for its hot springs, and there's a long cultural history around bathing in naturally heated springs outdoors with friends, for both healing and relaxation. Given his work involves physical labor and difficult strategy for the Kamisato clan, it makes sense that he enjoys a good soak in the local onsen. His constellation name means Red Shield. That's Rubeum Scutum in Latin. Aside from his potential gameplay mechanics, the shield could refer to how he looks after and protects Ayaka, his position in the household, and how he protects the Traveler after the first fight we lose with Raiden Shogun. Overall, he does have protective big brother vibes, and it fits him so well in my opinion. The red theme is obviously to do with him being a pyrovision holder, but the color associated with him also shows his warmth and passion towards people and his work. The post and article that announced him as a playable character was also called Protector from Afar, meaning that this is one of his titles. So whether or not he uses shields as part of his gameplay, being a protector is a huge part of his character. His name hinted at his origins outside of Inazuma. Thoma, spelled Thoma, sounds the same as the Japanese name Thoma, spelled Touma, but also sounds just like the French name Thomas with a silent S at the end. This hints at him being a European person in the Japanese parallel Inazuma. It's like he's using a Japanese sounding version or spelling of his name to fit in, and make it easier for others to address him in their native language. Some fans did speculate at first whether he was actually from Fontaine because of this. Much like Kurisu, who we met on Rito, who was using a Japanese spelling of his French name, Christopher, although Thoma ended up being revealed as a Mondstadter. It's interesting that his name alone gave enough of a hint for fans to work out that he wasn't originally born in Inazuma. That concludes my 10 facts for you about Thoma. I had a lot of fun putting this together and recapping everything we know so far about him ahead of his release as a playable character. It's clear he's going to be a popular one for a while to come, given that he's tied so closely to Ayaka, as well as being pretty fun in his own right. What do you think of Thoma though? Is there anything else you find interesting about him that I didn't include? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoyed this discussion, as well as subscribe for more Genshin Impact content here soon. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you for opening the Tevachinary.